Hey, welcome to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 45. Bingo.
Right.
With
That's right.
Steve Keeter over there.
Superstar. Superstar.
And
Check it out.
Superstar. Look at the glasses. Can you check it
Yeah.
out?
I mean, you can actually see the reflection of the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool. And I'm
Oh,
Larned Justin, by the way.
he is. This guy's
That
Larned
way.
Justin.
You're that way. Okay.
Yeah. Jim
And,
Maine says he's the brains behind us talking small press.
I don't know why he keeps telling me my brains are in my behind. I don't get it. But anyway.
I'm the brawn. He's the
Yeah.
brains. I'm the brawn.
Okay.
Glad
Anyway,
got
we
that
we are ready with a regular episode. The episode before this was special. That was the
Right.
SpaceCon episode, and I hope you watched that. If you didn't, make sure you watch it.
I hope you did. Got like 145 views.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, it did
we had
really
a
well.
great time. We had
Really
a great
well.
time.
We
Well,
had a
I
good
got to
time.
dispense. This is a gag. So, like a gag. I got to
Uh-huh.
dispense to this, though. I just want to say that these are colorblind glasses that I ordered. Well, actually, one of my daughters sent it to me several years ago because I am a little colorblind, red
Mhm,
and green color blindness.
mhm.
And I just ordered some new ones in chroma glasses. They're supposed to be the best. So I should have those by the weekend. So I hope to see everybody in living color by then.
Ooh, okay.
I can already see Larned's got on a red shirt.
Yeah.
And I got superheroes in
Yeah.
all different colors, but it's going
I
to look
got
even
that.
greater.
Yeah.
Matt, that's right. Alfred E. Newman is right there
Yeah,
in
he's here with
living
us.
color.
Yeah.
Living color. There's a big tongue that guy has. He's like the Gene Simmons of
Yeah.
mad comic books.
Really.
So
Okay, we better get started. We got a bunch of comics for this episode. We have a
Oh, yeah.
ton.
Mhm.
And we have not, these are the last comics that you folks have sent us. Starting on the next episode, we'll be reviewing the comics we picked up at Space.
Almost
A little
last.
different.
I just
Mhm.
got one from Steve Willis, and
Yeah,
yes,
I have that.
but not in time for this show. But we'll get to you shortly, Steve.
Why wouldn't it be in time for you didn't, what do you mean?
Did you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't put it on the list. You sent me a list of stuff we were going to record.
Ah, okay.
I've
Well,
got
we
it.
can save it. We can save it for the next one. That's okay.
Oh,
All right.
Steve Willis, you're a superstar, and we're going to save it for the next show, unless I can read it really, really fast in between Larned's
It's a
commenting.
very different type issue, so
Yeah.
let's save it. We'll save it, for the next one. But anyway, what do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with the most offbeat publication that we have received recently
Oh yes,
from our great pal Dan Burke.
Dan Burke has these. I found out that Gaff cards, Gaff, are magician's cards. I didn't know
Magician's
that.
card.
Did you know that?
No,
They're
and I did
magician's
not
cards.
know. I did not know
I had
that.
to look it up because I didn't know what Gaff meant. But
Yeah,
these are magician's cards, and this whole issue is about how to do these card tricks.
And I didn't know Dan is an amateur magician.
I didn't know that either, but
I didn't know
it's
that.
done like this all the way through. He
Mhm.
describes each trick and shows you how to do it. There's a
detail.
little you gotta
There's some
buy a
CGI.
few things to do some of these tricks, but if you really want to do them, he will show you how to do it. I don't
Yeah.
think they're very, the parts to do it, I don't think are very expensive, but you do have to invest a little bit to do these tricks.
Yeah, basically a super glue and a balloon.
A balloon,
He shows
you gotta
by
have,
step how
yeah.
to do these amazing card tricks. Here you cut up pieces of a balloon,
Mhm.
and well, there's a lot more to it, but he goes into absolute detail.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
very
was going to
interesting.
say here, right in the beginning, in the contents are all the tricks he's going to show you and the
Yep.
names of them. So there's 10 tricks in here to do
Mhm.
if you want to. And
Yeah.
Detail description on how to do it, illustrated by Dan. showing you exactly, where to make cuts and do this and that and everything. So if you like magic and you wonder how some of these things are done, he's giving it all away right here.
Yeah, he's giving away all the secrets
He's
along with
giving away the secrets.
some nice CGI artwork.
Yeah.
Magicians
AI
and
stuff.
the
Yeah.
magician's assistant.
Mhm.
And
this is, I believe, maybe I don't have the price on here. I believe it's, oh, nuts. I think it was $10. Is that right? Do you know?
well, the quality is amazing, so it's worth $10 most definitely.
You get it. His stuff comes through
I don't
Amazon,
know.
so we'll put the Amazon link in the description, and it'll tell you what the price is when you go to Amazon, of course.
Yeah. He might have told me in a message. If so, I'll look it up and I'll send it to you.
Somehow I thought it was $10, but I may be wrong. So don't count on that.
He talks. There's a lot of stuff in here. You guys got this portrait that you can put on the wall.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. And
you're in a place and you want to do this magic trick, and the trick is the portrait doesn't have a card in his hand, and you're talking to somebody, and
it comes along, and all of a sudden
they blink one time, and now the portrait has a card.
Yeah.
And there's other things where you can send a card through a glass table and it pops up on the other side of the glass. Or you can send a card from where you are to a window across the room and it suddenly pops up the chosen card. Somebody picks out a card, pop, pop, pop. Is this your card? And it's way over there.
Cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, these are not. I'm sorry. These are the better tricks. Those kind of tricks are very interesting to try and do. Mm-hmm. But he shows you how to do it. So
some of it's done with magnets.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're reading through this thing and you're going, wow, how does somebody come up with this stuff? How did someone conceive this?
I know, that's amazing to me. You tell somebody, hey, I want to do a trick where the card appears on a window across the room. How do I do that? Nobody has any idea.
It's crazy,
but it can be done.
And there it is. Even in the rain, the card will appear on the window. On the other side of the window, you're in a room. It's on the other side of the window. There's some more CGI, So
if you want to learn how to do it, that book will tell you.
See, right here, the magician is he throws all his cards like flit all across the room. They all fall down on the floor, but one of them appears on the other side of that window. So,
I don't know. That's amazing.
I reread some of this. I have to reread it some more because it's simple, but it's complex. You have to follow it step by step.
Yeah. And he does show you. He shows you how to do it. He's got every, all the where your hands should be, all those kinds of things. It's all drawn in here.
The killer AI back cover there.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
But thanks for sending that, Dan. I mean, it was a surprise. You said it. I think you said in a message. This one is a little different.
Yeah,
it is a little different. And it's interesting. Right. But we enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you want to be a magician, a card magician, you can start off with that and then go from there.
There we go.
Okay. What do we got next? I know we got a bunch of stuff here.
We got 2 issues of the Imagination Link.
That's what I was thinking. We've got issue
from Alan
55
Sissom.
And 56.
Mm-hmm.
And the Imagination Link, I can show you right here, is this right here, this little
robot
silver
guy.
ball. That's the Imagination Link, and he used to be a human.
He's a human. It's a human being. The intellect apparently transplanted into an alien probe,
right?
And sent here by aliens, whom he loses contact with, and he forgets his identity. He forgets everything.
Well, he doesn't remember when he was a human. He doesn't remember anything about that. He knows he was. He doesn't remember it though. Yeah.
And he befriends these 2 geeky-looking guys.
Yeah.
Looks like Larned and me about 40, 50 years ago. But that's
right. We
couple
looked
of geeky kids.
Exactly like that.
And they have this adventure, and they're trying to find out where he came from. In the meantime, he's being drawn. He's being drawn by some sort of force. In fact, the kids are drawn by the same force. Where's my finger? Finger's here. They're being drawn also towards the aliens who have landed on the Earth, and they're looking for the probe.
Yeah.
So, this has been going on for several issues, and
now this is according to what I read, this is a reprint of something he did a while back, but he wanted to get everything together.
I think this one is number 55 is a reprint.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Number 55.
But number 56
is the newer,
the new story.
Yeah. But this is a reprint of. He has done this before, but he's trying to consolidate these and get them in order and so forth. And if you haven't seen it, fine. It's only these are $2. So I mean,
and Alan does a really nice job on the artwork, and the story is totally absorbing. It's not hard to read. It just flows very well.
Flows along real good. Yeah. You'll be able to follow it. It's an unusual story, but that's what's so great about small press. Yeah. You can do anything you want.
And there's some of Alan's artwork.
Yeah. And
so you get kind of caught up. You get kind of caught up in this story. He's an alien probe. He's a machine, but he's a machine with soul.
Yeah.
You feel for this character.
They're still trying to help him get his identity, and that's continues on in 56. 56, where they're still trying to help him find his real identity.
Yep. And then he throws you a curve here and there.
Yeah.
He throws you a curve here, talking about a giant rock. Like it's a rock with dark eyeballs. Where was it at?
Right
floating through space. And this is not him. Apparently, I thought at first that that was him in the beginning, but it has something to do with him.
He encounters that. Yes, he does encounter that. Yeah,
and that's part of the story. So
yeah, we don't want to give too much away here, but because it's not a long book, but
well, you really can't give too much away because Alan leaves the mystery open at the end.
Yeah.
This has not been resolved, and we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to what comes next.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this book.
If you like science fiction, and you might get a kick out of this. Pretty neat.
Yep.
And the thing is, this is issue 56. So, he's been doing this a long time. I don't know if I guess the Imagination link started in issue 1. I don't know. But
it started somewhere down the line.
In the middle somewhere.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got a picture of something, and my old man cataract eyes. I'm trying to look here. The Imagination link looks like the probe first appeared in issue number 46.
46.
That's where it started. The link.
Okay.
But he's done other stories before that. But the Imagination, talk about imagination. Alan has a great imagination, so he's always
he does. Very good writer.
Coming up with really cool, engaging stuff. So
yeah, very good writer. Very cool. All right, that's that one. What do you got next?
Well, I got the latest issue of Small Press Party.
Yeah,
my pal Joseph Morris.
Yep.
Whom we met in person just a couple of weeks ago at the Space Convention up in Columbus, Ohio. And he's aided and abetted in this particular issue. Can you find it?
No, I don't think that I had that one set up.
Yeah.
I don't think that was one we were going to do.
Well, we can hold off on it, or I can just review it myself.
Well,
we saw Joseph Morris at the convention. He was a great guy. It was
the idea was not to mix the convention copies with the copies that were sent to us. We picked that up at the convention. I'd like to save that. We're going to start that in the next episode, the convention.
Okay, we'll hold off on that one.
Until next. Yeah.
I will say that it has artwork by Joseph Morris, And he is a great cartoony style, unlike just about anyone else.
Oh yeah, it's very, very different. Very
distinctive style, along with one of the greats of small press, Terry Flippo.
Terry Flippo. Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to it later. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it in the next one. I'm trying to keep these separate. I will explain on the next episode why I want to keep these separate. I will tell you Joseph, in the next.
I'll tell you what's going on in just a second.
I'll tell you in the next episode why I want to do that. I do have a reason. So this episode is still the ones you've been sending in, not the ones we got at the show. Okay.
I missed all that. What did Larned say behind my back? Tell me.
Boy, you don't want to know.
Post it in the comments below. I need to know. I don't.
I was just trying to explain to them. I was going to tell them in the next episode why I want to keep these comments separate. The ones that were mailed to us and the ones we picked up at the show and paid for or traded for, I want to keep separate.
But speaking of which,
I'll explain that in the next episode.
Okay. Speaking of which, you want to know why it's easy to get stuff confused? Because look, I came back from this convention with this many books.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
all these comics of all sizes and shapes.
So
we got a lot to review.
Yeah. And that's what we're starting next episode, which will be fairly soon. Yeah, a little sooner than normal because we don't have to wait for things to come in the mail. We've got them.
Yeah. So what we want to do to help us catch up, and what we want to do is post like 2 videos per week. Mm-hmm. So like 1 video every 4 or 5 days. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to leave a video up to get all the views for a little while before we do another one, but we don't have to wait, very long to do another one because we got the comics.
Yeah, we're darn busy making videos. We have a Patreon page too now.
Yes,
check out the information below.
That is in the description below, and
so we're
that would help us a lot too. This one this one I've had for a little while, so we need to get this up, and that's one side. This is the other side. They always flip them.
Yeet
always flips them. Mm-hmm. And this story right here, the first story, is very cool. This is Shane Luttrell wrote it, and Kent Clark illustrated it. I'm not sure that it's not Clark Kent, but I think it's Kent Clark. But Clark Kent, probably could draw.
You think that's his real name? You think that's his
real
name?
I have a feeling he's fooling around, but I don't know.
I think it's his pseudonym, but who knows? Maybe his parents had a sense of humor.
Yeah. This is a science fiction story about these 2 guys that actually they're a couple of thieves, really.
Couple of rogues.
Couple of thieves. They think they got a big score. So they're going to pursue that in this episode.
Yep.
So
they find a spacecraft.
Yeah, they find this ship here, and it's sitting there, and they think, "Oh, this is made for us. We can get in that thing, take our time, and steal everything in it."
And somewhere along the line, one of these guys gets the distinct impression that there's a woman running the ship.
Yeah, and he says he doesn't really want to rob from a woman,
So
he said, I'm going to go up to the cockpit. Yeah, I'm not going to hang around in this room. I'm going to go up to the cockpit, see what's up there. Yeah, he's got, got some morals. Didn't want to steal from a lady.
Along the lines, they encounter this giant beast.
This is where they make their mistake. They don't realize that ship is sitting there because they're looking for this monster. And they stumble right into the monster.
The monster's name is Korga.
Yeah.
So Korga shows up and gives them quite a run for their money.
Yeah.
And
we better not show what happens because
I got to show something because one of Shane Luttrell's one of his great characters that he's created is Susie Steam.
Susie Steam, yeah. That's what this really is a Susie Steam story, but
so this just shows she enters the picture.
Yeah. she enters the picture here.
Yeah, and I'm not giving away the ending, but
no, we don't want to give away the ending.
Takes off.
But it's kind of exciting and it's different, and we really liked it.
Kent Clark's artwork is really nice here.
Yeah,
really nice. That's her dog. I forget the dog's name, but that's Susie Steen's dog.
Yeah, there's a dog there that I think that's her dog, right?
Yeah, that's her dog. He's been in previous adventures. But that's a really nice story. It might be the highlight of the issue. That was a great. Nothing. The other stories are great too, but this one was especially
that's
great.
a cool story. Then we have.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you turn the book over to this side, here you start with Energy Girl by Ken Bailey. And this story is called Career Day. And there's a couple of things here. I don't know. I don't know whether to say this or not.
You're not a fan of the line. The
lines around bother me a little bit. I don't know that they're necessary, because I'll tell you why. There's a lot of action in this. And if you look at this panel down here, you see what the lines do is cloud up the action. I think. I don't know what the... I don't know.
That's Ken's style. I'm not sure why. Not sure why he puts the line around the characters.
Yeah, but
it doesn't affect the story, though.
It's okay. I just hate to see, he's an excellent. The cartooning of the girl and everything is excellent. Just don't really think you need the lines around there.
I like his artwork. I like his inks.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, nice.
The line around them is just a curious, curious aspect of his
Also,
style.
There's on each panel, he puts the date there, and these dates on these panels go from 2017, 2019 to 2020 or 20. Like the very last picture in the book is from 2019. Yet there's 2020 panels in here also.
Yeah, so he's been working this out for a while.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know that that's necessary to do.
And it does introduce an interesting new character. She's a young girl with superpowers. What's her name? Femme girl or Femme?
Jen?
It's right inside the front. Yeah. But there she is. And she's uncertain about her powers. She doesn't know what to think. Apparently, she was born with powers.
And she didn't really understand it or know what it was all about.
So she feels like alienated and stuff because she's not normal. She just wants to be normal.
Yeah.
Femme. Yeah. So
anyway,
two female heroes.
Yeah.
Both of whom are very powerful. One of whom is very unsure about herself. She just wants to be left alone. But Energy Girl insists on talking to her because she has a similar past, a similar background, and she understands how she feels.
Yeah.
And so the story is very good. The story is very good, very interesting.
Yep. Just a different art style. That's all.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that. And Ken Bailey's collaborator at times is also in here somewhere, and that is
right here, which is Joe Corrales.
Joe Eli
with
Corrales,
Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty,
right,
in black and white. And a lot of times Joe's are in full color. This is black and white.
Yeah,
but
this is kind of an introduction to a story that may or may not.
This is really the intro. Candidate Calamity. So there's somebody there running for office.
That's an intro. So
yeah,
what can I say? But it's interesting, as all of Joe Corrales' artwork and all of his stories are very interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Yeet Presents.
Yep, that's
number 56. I understand number 57 is out now, and we're looking forward to seeing that one.
Okay.
and here it is, both sides. This looking like an early. This looks like an early DC comic.
Well,
this
that
design,
does, yeah. Very
It doesn't
cool.
look like a Marvel. It looks like an early DC comics from the early 1960s, like a compilation or one of the annuals that they published. So it's a cool cover
both
there.
Covers. I like them both.
Yeah.
I like both covers. Very cool.
Oh, Femtastic. That's the name of the. That's the name of the new superhero. It's Femtastic. It just happens. The name happens to be on the cover
Ken
here.
Bailey's cartoon. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And this is, if you read along the top here, the hottest indie comic on the planet. Just so you know.
I burned my hands on it, so you know it's hot.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Where's my fan?
Yeah, man. All right. Do you have this? Alpha Tunes?
I do.
Oh, look at that. Alpha Tunes by Ken Leach.
And that's Ken on the cover.
That's him. There.
That's what he looks like.
And this is number, get this, 230.
Right. Well, it's an apposite.
This is not his normal comic book. This is a newsletter kind of thing that he puts out. It's
an apposite. It's a zine that for the Alpha Omega APA,
right?
Amateur Press Association, and apparently they've been around a long time. This is number 230. That means that this book has to have appeared in this APA at least 230 times.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not generally available for regular mainstream distribution or whatever, small press distribution, I guess.
No, but you can get it, from Ken and take a look at it because it's got information on his upcoming comic book, Ken Kong, which he's looking for.
Ken Kong. He's looking for King Kong submissions.
Yes, Ken Kong.
Artwork and stories.
Yeah. He's looking for King Kong illustrations. Here's one that he shows in the book by Kel Crum right here. And that is President Kong.
President Kong.
Monarchies are a thing of the past. And that's
I got to find
Kong.
That one.
Yeah.
We love Kel Crum. We love his work.
There's a banana bill right in front of them that they're working on in Congress. You see the banana bill?
Yeah.
They're working on that in Congress right now. But that's what Ken is kind of looking for, I think. Stuff like that for his next upcoming comic book.
Here's another actual photo of Ken Leach.
Yeah, that's
with
him.
The cover by Frank Humphreys, I guess. I think this is Humphreys.
Yeah. There he is.
So that's cool. I see the President Kong yellow now. I just found it. You beat me to that one.
There's a number of King Kong illustrations in here. Here's one.
Yep.
Along with a bunch of stuff from Ken's family photos, things like that. Lots of different stuff in here.
Photos of his children, his grandchildren, and
what they're doing, things like that.
Family-oriented publication. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right that must be his granddaughter, and that dress, whatever it is, it completely consumes her.
And there's a lot of neat stuff in here. Things like this. Kind of neat.
Yep.
And here's just a page of all kinds of different little sketches and things. I think Ken did these.
Yeah, illustrations by Ken Leach himself. He did a couple of pages of crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff like this. Yeah. And that's kind of fun. Yeah. So
I'm just looking at some of these.
Don't think this has a price on it.
Yeah, I mean, you got this alien guy here. He's holding something, and he says, "Dag nabbit." He thinks it's a lightsaber. He said, "Geeps." I think Geeps mean Ken. I think it's a short for grandfather. You do realize that's a flashlight, don't you? They'll say, "Yeah, that's not going to work as a lightsaber, but it makes for a good cartoon."
Yeah. I don't know if there's a price on this or not. I don't see a price anywhere, It's kind of fun. You can contact Ken. I will have his contact information in the description below, and ask him the price.
He mentions
if you want one.
If
it's in here, I couldn't find it.
You may not be familiar with this person, but Louisa Felix, she was in small press. She passed away, I guess, like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But it looks like somebody's working on reviving something, a publication that has her artwork and stuff in it. She was very creative, very funny. I'm sure she was an Alpha Omega. I know she was in the Pizzazz Comics Co-op. Steve Shipley, I was a member. That was a long time ago, but those are nice memories. And just, but he has a letter column in here, a bunch of letters.
He has comics. He writes about some comics in here. And there's mailing comments in here because it's an APA. And anyway, it's a nice thing to have.
That's King Kong.
There's King Kong right there.
That's Ken Kong right there. That's Ken.
Yeah. Contribution.
Yeah.
Contribution.
Yeah.
Contributions are greatly appreciated.
Contributions.
Contributions.
He sent me a message, and you want to contribute to this thing, so I'll try to do something.
And I sent him an email. I now wanted to clarify something. I sent him a new email a week ago. I've never heard anything back, so I don't know.
He's a busy guy. He just published 230 issues of this particular zine. So he's got a big family, which is great.
Yeah. Very cool.
So, there you go with that.
All right.
We got like two more to go, and they're both epic.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure where to go next. I see what you got. Okay, I'm for that.
All right, Madame Boogala, Volume 1 from Larry Johnson.
Right.
And when he says volume, he's not kidding.
He's not kidding. It looks like 200 pages long here.
Yeah, it's a volume.
But Madame Boogala is a character. This reprints the early Madame Boogala stories. She was sort of based in a way on this gypsy.
Is that the real Madame Boogala? It could be.
It's something. An illustration that inspired Larry to start doing these adventures of Madame Boogala. These are stories published between 1989 and 1999, and they are as good now. They're as fresh. They're as original, and as they were when they were first published, with some amazing fantasy illustrations throughout by Larry himself.
Yep, I mean,
there's Larry, the demon Poroscoro, who inhabits her son Gumar's form, and
but each story has like this kind of a splash page when you go into a new story, and it's very cool.
There's some exciting stuff here, and I'm just looking.
Some of it I remember. Actually, surprisingly, some of this I remember.
Yeah,
from the original.
And Lou Brown, who's constantly, he's been in a lot of Larry stories, and I think that's Lou Brown there. But he constantly finds himself involved with crazy magical adventures that he never planned, but he stumbles into. Oh, that what you're showing there, My Dark Rose.
Yeah,
look at the inks on that.
Yeah, look at that.
I really like this finely detailed and dark inks that Larry does throughout much of this issue. There's one story that I found interesting because, of course, we're reading the early stories and the character evolved. This one by Larry Johnson has inks by the late Jim Pack and appeared in one of Jim Pack.
Wow.
Madame Boogala's Scarf. And Jim Pack was really excellent inker. It's towards the beginning. It's like the second story in the book. Yeah.
Can't find it.
She has a scarf that she gives to people, but she has power over the scarf, and she can send this scarf anywhere to do her bidding. And she's a little roguish, so she's gave somebody a jewel, and she sends the scarf while they're sleeping to bring the jewel back. So the scarf returns, and
I'm just noticing the artwork. It's Madame Bougala, but it's got Jim Pack.
It changes the appearance,
so it changes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
But what happens, and this was interesting to me, Larry Johnson, I know you're watching, but at the end of this story, okay, it turns out that the person that Madame Bougala was trying to get over on had a scarab, a mystical, magical, sinister scarab of a like a insect-like creature.
Yeah.
And it comes back in her scarf, and she opens it, and it goes right after Madame Bougala.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's interesting, because it looks like she's met her maker.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because at the end of the story it says, "Evil sorcery has murdered our wise woman." The gypsies say, "Pack up, we depart this place. This town is forever cursed." And it doesn't really. It looks like she died.
Yeah, well, we know that didn't happen.
She died. Gumar arrived to find his dying mother. Her screams alerted the whole gypsy camp and the village residents. But in the next story, which just happens to be a Lou Brown story, she's back.
She's back.
I guess she didn't die.
Nope.
But that's good news because people who love her magical, mystical adventures.
Well, she went on along. She's still going. She's still going today, so she's around.
Didn't die.
But if you want to get the whole Madame Bougala thing, that is quite a book.
She's always channeling these demons, or these demon-like creatures. Here she is, Lou Brown himself. He's up there. He's drinking her tea. By the bottom, he becomes a creature called Avatar.
I, once again, don't see the price on the book. Did you see it anywhere?
No, but after we do this video, I'll look for it.
Yeah, I think maybe $20. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it'd be totally worth $20.
I don't know if I read that or I imagined that, but I think it's $20.
Well, I'll find out, and the information will be down below. So I'll send the information to Larned. I'll send a
find out. I want to put that in there so we know the price. But and you can contact Larry. We'll have his contact information up there, so you can find out the price.
This is quite a book. As I said, these stories are as fresh and new as they were.
Yep.
It details the origins of Madame Bougala.
Mm-hmm.
She was once a beautiful young gypsy lady, and it tells the story about how she met her husband, and Gumar was conceived, and
how he was conceived.
Not too much. Well, he was their child.
Oh, must be an interesting story.
Yeah, so it's Gumar's father, and he does appear later in the book. Look at this. Look at the detail here.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So she depicts
all kind
of
stuff
life.
In here. Scary stuff too.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with Larry Johnson. You just can't go wrong with Larry Johnson stuff.
I'm just checking here.
Mm-hmm.
Being how demons are always escaping, they're wreaking havoc everywhere. You can see here the city is in. She looks out her window.
All over the whole city.
Is in turmoil.
Man.
Everybody's going berserk.
Yeah.
Everybody's going nuts. Even the dog in the corner there, but they're all mad at each other right outside of her curio shop.
Outside of her place, yeah. Great stories.
A lot of work to resolve that.
Yeah.
Showed you Poroscoro earlier.
Yeah.
But it's quite a read, and I'll tell you, I was reading this all along, and you never get bored with it.
Oh no, they're always different. That's cool.
You never get bored with it. And did Larry ink all this? Because those dark inks, it's distinctive. It's like he, for a little while.
I don't know. He's got pretty good write-up in here.
Yeah, he did it.
About this. And I think he did it all.
He changes to a dark, somewhere along the line, he changed to a darker, a little bit less cartoony style, and a much darker and heavy ink style, which I really, really like.
I think the newer ones are, because they're in color, they don't have some of that,
Yeah, he might simplify the art a little bit just to make the color.
Yeah.
But
I also remember this story, The Magic Lamp. I remember that one. Yeah. Anyway, that's a great one. So we'll have all his info down below, like I say.
So, but he's working on volume 2 now. So volume 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
The story is not over. This is the city. Somehow Madame Boogaloo saved the day on that one. Remember the crazy people going, now everybody's calm. You see the dog is just sitting there.
They recovered.
And, that was resolved. And it's a darn good thing. But she's always on the edge of something sinister, something destructive. And it's hard to tell at times if she is a hero or a villain.
That is true. These demons that she conjures up,
even using her own son, as a portal for
to bring
Squirrel,
these demons,
one of the most vile demons.
With
venom and snakes and dogs' heads, and coming out of his body, just wild and crazy stuff. But she's under a curse. Apparently, she's under a curse. If you read the book, you'll find out all about the curse. But she has to allow these demons entrance into our dimension, into our world from time to time. So she tries to limit that as best she can, but sometimes the demons are too much for her to control.
Yeah. So, quite a story. Quite a story.
It's really great. Really gripping stuff. So.
Okay. One more. We got one more here.
Yeah, and this is Tony Lorenz.
Pacesetter.
It began, 20 years ago or something, as the George Perez newsletter. There's George in the middle between the Scarlet Witch and Wonder Woman. And on the back cover, it's even closer, but it looks just like George Perez. I've seen him at MegaCon before, a few years back, before he passed away. But Tony had been publishing Pacesetter, which has a lot of great reproductions of George's artwork and stuff. He's been publishing this for quite a while. Now, somewhere along the lines, and before it had articles and stories and about George Perez, his history, and the history of Marvel and DC Comics. You can't ignore the impact that George Perez made over these decades. And all throughout, you have some of his fans and other professional artists and writers giving their tributes, and showing pictures of themselves. This would be Michael Rogers, Marv Wolfman. Yeah, Marv Wolfman is on the next page. Marv Wolfman, the great writer for Marvel, and that's George Perez when he was young and had black hair. Whoops, right there. So, but
if you want to know about George Perez, this will tell you. This is comprehensive. Yep.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan.
Particular issue. Now, Marvel and DC, believe it or not, they sent, started as the George Perez newsletter. Later, he changed the name, Tony Lorenz changed the name to Pacesetter. But he got a message from lawyers of Marvel and DC Comics, a cease and desist letter. Because they didn't like the fact that he was publishing, even though it was just, the whole book was dedicated to George Perez.
Right.
But he was publishing pictures of copyrighted characters and stuff. And, maybe Tony Lorenz will come along and explain a little bit more about what happened there. But he was forced to cease publishing this. even though it was just a tribute book, or it was. And I think that's Tom Felrath right there. Yeah, I never met George Perez.
Yeah, article.
So he talks about, a lot of people get in here, people that we respect and admire, and they talk about the impact that George Perez. I mean, I first discovered him with Crisis on Infinite Earths with DC Comics, which is an unbelievable series. It's the father of all multiverse stories.
Yeah.
They went on for a year, and it was really amazing. But he also did the new Teen Titans and a lot of other stuff. So,
well, I was just going to say, there's a tremendous amount to read in here. Mm-hmm. All kinds of articles and things to read, plus all the artwork you can look at. Beautiful, beautiful artwork reproduced in here. So it's really something.
Yep. George Perez. He drew practically every single Marvel or DC character.
Really?
Ever and ever. I mean, he drew like everybody. He did Wonder Woman. He did a JLA versus Avengers matchup. I remember this Star Trek cover.
Star Trek, yeah.
I remember that when it came out.
Here, Shazam,
yeah. Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And
so all these people go through. Like I say, the artwork in here is really something to see.
Yeah.
If you want all that in one place, you get it all in this book.
Mostly by George, but occasionally there's even some of his earlier. There's a couple other people who do artwork.
This one is for George that I was showing you here. That's for George. That was not George, but it was done for him.
It looks like him. It just shows the influence he had on other people.
Yeah. KM did it, whoever KM is. Okay. I don't know.
This is some old small press work by George Perez before he really got involved in the mainstream of comics.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read that Stan Lee was instrumental in getting him involved with Marvel Comics. But you have tributes from people all the way through. Dan Jurgens. Oh, there's an interview. There's an interview by Greg Gustines that was written a few months before George's passing. And George already knew that his days were going to be numbered. What do you have? Is pancreatic cancer? Pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
But he kept doing interviews. He kept appearing at conventions. And that's beautiful artwork. Beautiful. And he just kept, he finally, there was a day where he announced that he was retiring, retiring from comics, because, he had to for the obvious reasons. Bob Layton, let's see.
What was the price on this book, Steve? Do you remember?
We always get to this point. What is the price?
I don't know.
I got to start writing this stuff down before we do the show.
Well, it's something,
Okay, this is the hardcover.
Yeah, there's two.
This one is about $40, available directly from Amazon.
Okay.
And we were fortunate enough to have the hard copy. There's also a paperback version, just as nice, but it's $15. So you can order the paperback edition.
You can get the $15
from Amazon, and it's well worth it. It's well worth it, especially if you're a George Perez fan.
Yep, if you're a fan, you should get it. I would think. Yeah.
Or if you love classic comics or whatever. And one thing that I got from reading all these stories, all the people, and they took pictures with everybody.
Yeah.
I remember when I was at MegaCon, and Tony Lorenz was there too, and he says, George Perez is over there. So I went over there, but it had a line a block long of people that wanted. And from what I read here, he was so gracious that he would give you a hug. He would draw sketches for you. And most of the time he didn't charge for that, or he sent the proceeds to charity.
Yeah.
But he didn't make any money. He did, and also people in here, and several people said this. he would come in early, like an hour before the convention was started,
Mm-hmm.
and he would stay after the convention was closed until everyone in line had got to speak with him and got a picture and an autograph. And he was that kind of a gracious person. He said that he never forgot the fans, the people who put him in that position, and he didn't want to let anybody down. So apparently this was one heck of a kind, gracious, wonderful, wonderfully talented individual. And I see his influence. Tony Lorenz has a little bit of a George Perez. I've told him before. Told Tony, I said, you're the George Perez of small press. But he can do something. He can do something that George did. He can put a whole lot of characters in one panel and not make it look cluttered.
Oh man,
that's a real talent.
Super artwork.
Yeah. I mean, so that's why George was the perfect choice for Crisis on Infinite Earths, because it featured every single character you could possibly imagine in the DC universe, and was quite a heck of a story. So
great books. I think we had a great collection of books for this episode. Really,
absolutely,
yeah.
And we got to get to Steve Willis next time, no doubt.
Steve Willis, we got to do next time.
And Joseph Morris.
Joseph Morris, yes.
Yep.
Joseph Morris is part of the ones we got from space. Steve Willis is not. Steve Willis, if you don't know, you can't buy Steve Willis comics. You can only trade for them, send postage or something like that, but there's no price and you can't buy them. If you try to buy it, he won't send it to you. Only if you request him to send it to you, you trade for something, you send some stamps, and if you don't do that, he may send it to you anyway. So you can't buy it.
It's well worth it. He's the funniest, funniest, wittiest people you could possibly imagine.
And a pioneer.
Yep.
Pioneer of small press. Been doing it for years. And he was at space, he told me, twice. He was there in 2018 and 2011. And I missed him both times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Joseph Morris was there, and Ian Shires was there. Kurt Erickson, whom I've known through the UFO. He was a UFO chairman back in the 1970s. He publishes Endeavor. We're going to have a review of that one coming up because he has a new one out. But I've known him for 50 years, never met him in person. And a lot of other people. Yeah, and there was a lot of other people. Keith Newsom and Bob Corby himself, who puts on the con. And
the disappointment was Matt Fizzell was ill and could not make the con.
Couldn't make it.
That was big. That was kind of a disappointment.
And Max Inc. Max Inc. was there. I kept looking for Max Inc.
Didn't make it. Yeah.
But we had a great time. If you haven't seen the video of it's the one before this.
Yeah.
On
Go ahead and watch it.
There, the video
give you an idea what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yep. Now,
all right. Well,
what we're going to do, or what Larned suggests, and I think he's right, is we were hoping to catch up on the stuff we received in the mail today, but we didn't quite make it. So we got a little more catching up to do. But then we want to proceed to start reviewing
the comics we bought. Yeah.
All of the great comics that we traded for
or bought or whatever we did at the show.
Space.
So I think that'll probably start next episode. I think we can do that next episode. We'll get we'll do Steve Willis, and the rest of them will be from the show that day. So okay, well, we'll close this one out. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like us and also subscribe so you know.
We hope you like us. If you don't like us, please don't tell us.
Yeah, don't tell us that. Subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when we're on, do all those exciting things, and we will see you next episode, which won't be very long. Coming up pretty quick.
What do you mean it won't be very long? It might be a long episode, but it won't be a long time.
But it won't be long before we do it.
All right, we'll see you then.
Okay, we'll see you. Goodbye.
Adios.